What is up, y'all? It's also dope. I'm back for another video, and today I'm gonna be doing a little get ready with me for y'all. Today is Thanksgiving, and I just wanted to hop on here and do a get ready with me while excuse this, I use this for glue to glue my lace on, but I wanted to come on here and do a story time get ready with me because I have been posting on my Instagram asking people what type of videos they want to see and stuff, and I just really been wanting to do some story time. So I've already done my eyebrows. I'm gonna do an updated eyebrow tutorial. I've been really feeling the feather soap brow type look, so I'm gonna do an updated tutorial on my brows, but right now I'm just getting ready to go to my boyfriend's house. And I was like, you know what? This is the perfect opportunity for me to do a quick story time. Get ready with me. What inspired me to tell this story is the other day y'all know me, all I do is watch YouTube. Anybody who knows me knows all I do is watch YouTube. And so the other day, while I was eating or something, or I was bored and I wanted something to watch, I was like, let me watch this. Somehow I ran across a Roommate horror story, and I was like, don't I know it? Don't I know it? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hop on here and tell my roommate horror story. I have several. This one is when I lived in my apartment off campus. So if y'all see me looking over here, it's because I'm looking in the mirror, but don't mind that. My setup is a little bit different. I'm trying to get everything together. My ring light is broke, so I have to get another one. Everything's all crazy right now, but I'm gonna be looking in my mirror over here, but y'all will still be hearing the story. As with any story, you have to start off with background. Excuse me, I have this towel on and I'm trying to fix this. Don't keep falling down. I'm not naked, I have a towel on. So y'all, I'm gonna give y'all the background story first because you need the background for everything to make sense, right? So I was in technically my senior year, but I had went ahead and I took a break because I needed to make some money, because I needed to support myself and I needed to work full time. So that's what I was doing, right? So in the midst of me taking this break from school or whatever, I was pledging. Y'all see all of this stuff y'all see up here, this red, black, and white stuff is from my dance fraternity. I am in the first and only dance fraternity in the world. It is Delta Phi Delta Dance Fraternity Incorporated. So yeah, that's what you see back there, all of my Greek stuff from my parents, my pledge parents. But yeah, so during this time, it was September of 2018. It was a little bit before that. I was trying to, let's go back. So I was living in off-campus apartments or whatever, and I had just found out that my best friend, shout out to Shanti.
Don't talk to me.
Hey, bitch. It's my best friend. Also, she's also my ship. We did cross together. So I'm like, okay, she's coming to my school. Was so excited about that. I'm like, this is about to be dope. I got my best friend here and I got all these people I'm cool with here. It's gonna be lit. So she was like, I'm about to come down to your school, whatever. Boom. So while I was finishing out my lease at my apartment, she was actually staying at some on-campus apartments. So we kind of decided, like, we might as well move in together because it makes more sense. We here together. We want to move off campus. We want to have our own stuff so we can do whatever we want to do. So let's get our own place. Cool. And a lot of people say, like, oh, you shouldn't stay with your friends because you guys won't be friends anymore, or you shouldn't move with people who you're really close with because it'll do this, and that. But honey, this story is not about me and my best friend. We were we're literally the perfect roommates. We're both clean. We're both respectful of each other in our space. So everything was cool, right? So now let me fast forward a little bit more for y'all. So first of all, we were late getting an apartment because we were trying to get up the money or whatever. And so we were kind of late, like looking at apartments and stuff. So we wound up not necessarily getting something that we didn't like. We just got something that we weren't necessarily looking for, because all the apartments that I wanted us to live in, because mind you, I was at this school before her. I was there my entire college career, so I knew the good places to stay, the bad places to stay, all of that stuff, because I had friends. I lived out there, so I had friends who stayed in these places and stuff like that. So I had picked a few apartments that I personally wanted us to stay in, and she was following me because she knew that I knew what I was talking about. But the fact that we waited so late, we kind of moved into these apartments last minute. They were big as heck, so we moved into them last minute or whatever, and it was like everything was cool. We was like, okay, whatever, like this is decent, it's not terrible. Didn't really want to live there specifically, and we're gonna talk about the leasing company in another story time because they were something else, but that's for a whole nother story. So we get the money up finally, they approve us for the apartment, we move in, right? So the thing was, now listen to this because this is something that's important. So we get to the thing to sign our lease or whatever, like that. So the lady was like, well, unfortunately, we don't have any 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms, because this apartment, they had 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. They had 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. They had like really big apartments. So she was like, what we can do is we can move you into a 4-bedroom, 2 bathroom, and we could just do a 2-room lockout. So basically what that means is we will have full access to the apartment, but they will lock 2 rooms after we pick the rooms that we want, because we were only paying the amount for a 2-bedroom, 2 bathroom. So we were like, okay, dope, whatever. So we move in, everything was cool, blah, blah, blah. The people told us, like, pick your rooms or whatever. They told us, like, pick which rooms you want, and somebody's going to come from maintenance, and they're going to lock the other 2 rooms for you guys. Okay, cool, whatever. So let me just tell you something. We had already made plans for those rooms, and just in case, they happen not to come. So a week went by, we waited. Another week went by, we waited. Probably like 3 weeks to a month, we waited for these people to come lock the rooms, and they never did. I think one of the rooms was actually locked already, but I wound up, it was one of those knobs where you can like stick something in it and a lock will pop out. So I did that. I'm not a criminal, y'all. I did that and I opened the room. So now we have 4 rooms. So we were like gonna use one room as like a chill smoke type of room. We was gonna put a whole bunch like bean bags in there, like a little futon, so we could have a smoke room or whatever. We wound up not doing that just because we didn't really have time. Once we started pledging and stuff like that, we didn't really have time to even put into that for real. But the other room I was using for my YouTube. So my best friend was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, I don't care. You can use the other room for your YouTube room. We can use the other room for our smoke room or whatever. Like, I'm cool with that, whatever. So that's what we wound up doing. I set up my YouTube stuff in there. We both picked the rooms that we wanted. We each had our own bathroom. Everything was cool. So fast forward a little bit more. We had a friend of ours at the time. I'm gonna change everybody's names. My best friend's name will stay my best friend's name because this is not about her. So Ashanti, that's my best friend. So remember these names, y'all. So we were on a dance team and we had a friend. He don't really have much to do with this story. I don't want to add a bunch of names because I'm gonna forget. So I'm gonna just try to be as descriptive as I can without adding stuff that doesn't matter, if that makes sense. So we had a friend of ours who was on our dance team with us, and he had a friend who had stayed with him, and we're gonna call him Checker. And for people who know this story and what I'm talking about, that's funny. That will be funny to you. But anyway, Checker. So Checker stayed with a good friend of mine and Ashanti, and I don't know what was happening. I don't know what was going on. I think somebody was moving in or something to their apartment, and this person, Checker, needed somewhere to stay. So they came to us, like, you know, like we were cool with Checker. We weren't really close, but we were cool enough. Like we were friends, you know, no flex. Like we were friends. Which we became closer after, you know, we became closer after being around each other more. But Checker was like, hey, like, I need somewhere to stay. Y'all got these extra rooms. Like, would I be able to move into one of the rooms? And I help y'all pay rent and stuff like that. So at first, you know, we was like, you know, let us talk about it. We see how we feel. So no lie, me and my best friend, we was kind of like, nope. We don't really know about this. Like, we're fine. Like, we don't really necessarily need the help, like the money, and like we're like kind of like good with just us. So like, should we really do this? And then we was kind of like, you know what, he is cool, like, and it would be nice to keep a little bit of extra money in our pockets. So forget it, let's just let him move in. He said it was only until I think winter break was over or something like that. This was like right before winter break. So imagine we had just moved into our apartment. This was probably like 2 months in, I want to say. Because we moved in like, I think in August, either August or September, and this all happened. He was moved in and everything by the time Halloween came, I believe. So yeah, we was like, you know what? Let's help him out. Terrible choice. Terrible choice. And it gets worse. So he moves in, he's helping us with the rent, everything is cool, right? Everything is cool. So me and my best friend, we didn't really have like functions or events at our crib. Like when we came home, it was just me and her. Everything was clean, everything was smelling good. We had our own washer and dryer, we had a nice sized kitchen, we had a table, everything. Like everything was super nice in our apartment. Everything was clean always. Everything was cool. She kept her stuff clean, I kept my stuff clean. We collectively worked together to keep the common areas clean with like vacuuming, because we had carpet, washing dishes. We had a dishwasher, but like washing dishes, cleaning the kitchen. We both come from homes of parents who don't play that when it comes to cleaning up. So we were good together. We worked very well as roommates because we were both clean. Because at the end of the day, I don't care how you keep your room personally, as long as you're not doing anything that can cause us to have any type of pests. But if you got clothes thrown all around your room or whatever, close your door when we have company, whatever. Like how you keep your room is your business, because I'm not gonna lie, my room would be messy sometimes because I would be throwing clothes everywhere trying to find something or trying to look for something to wear. And that's cool, like whatever. Nobody's room is perfect all 100% of the time, but everything else, kept it clean. No cap. So he moves in, whatever, everything is cool. Everything is, you know, chill for a little while, whatever, right? This is the first thing that happens. He goes out with this girl who was a friend. I give him my house key to, this was the first red flag. I give him my house keys so he can get in the apartment. He leaves my house keys in an Uber. Luckily, I was smart enough. Well, I think I was using my car anyway, so I would have never left my car keys on there. But luckily, either way, I was smart enough to take my key fob off of my keys because he had lost my keys. And at the time, I had a Chevy Cruze, a 2015 Chevy Cruze. Y'all know I love Chevys from my car vlog. I just got another Chevy a few months ago. Left it or whatever. Those key fobs are expensive because you have to get them programmed. If you have a push to start, you have to get them engraved because they have to fit the car. And just all type of crazy stuff that I wasn't trying to go through. So, yeah, he lost my keys, right? So I'm like, okay. I was pissed, but I said, you know what? At the end, when we leave, you are going to pay for the key if they make us replace it. He was like, that's cool. Like, I don't care, you know, whatever. I'm like, it's $250 or however much it was. He was like, cool, whatever, I'll pay for it. So we had no problems with him. He was paying his rent. He was helping pay the bills. Everything was cool. We would like split We would like all put on money to get groceries and stuff like that. Everything was cool, y'all. So then, like I said, you know, this person, Checker, he's in our dance fraternity as well. And so he would have people, other people in the dance fraternity, they will come over our house and kick it. Now, don't get me wrong. If you help him pay rent, I don't care if you have company. I'm not going to tell you can't have company. But at the same time, let's not have people over 24/7. Let's not have people spending the night all the time. Let's not have people coming over here drinking up all of our stuff. Let's not have people coming over here with their smelly feet and their smelly bodies stinking up my house. Let's not do that. So literally, it got to a point where every time we came home, there was somebody there. Because me and my best friend, we were on the same modeling team and the same dance team. So we used to go after class. We used to go to our practices and stuff like that. We would get home. We want to relax. We want to smoke. We want to chill. Like, we want to eat. We want to do our homework. Whatever, right? Well, at the time, I wasn't in school. So I'm not going to say homework. But she had homework. But I still had stuff I had to do, too. Because I was the secretary of my dance team and I was the president of my modeling team, so I still had stuff that I needed to do, you know, and I wanted to have some peace and quiet. You know, you don't want people at your house 24/7. I don't care how social you are. I'm the most social person that I know, and I don't even want to be around people 24/7. It doesn't give me that type of vibe. Like, you can have people over every now and then, cool, but at some point you want to be alone in your house. You want to do what you want to do. And then when there's people over 24/7, you can't even be comfortable in your own space how you want to be. We've already knocked things down a peg because we have a man now staying with us, even though he's our friend and we're cool. But now we can't even do certain things that we want to do. And we've sacrificed that knowingly, but I'm just making it a point to say that you can't be comfortable in your home when you allow certain things, right? Whatever. So me and my best friend, we talked about it. Like, no, we don't really like how often he had people over here. Let's just tell him to make sure he let us know when people are coming over. So we text our little roommate chat like, hey, you know, we don't care if you have company and stuff, but like, can you let us know when you have company so that way we know what we coming home to? Because if I'm in a bad mood and I'm coming in the house thinking I'm finna be coming into peace and quiet and there's people here, y'all playing cards, y'all playing music, y'all doing this and that, it's too much. It's too much. So we put in our little chat that we have like, hey, we don't care if you have people over. Would you mind just letting us know when you have people over so that we can know, you know, what's going on? He's like, yeah, cool, no problem. Like, no problem, whatever. Boom, everything was cool. And don't get me wrong, he pitched in. He always made sure that he had weed, that he had liquor, that he bought food. Like, we pitched in well, and everything worked well together. Like I said, the only issue that we had was the fact that it was always people there. That was like the first thing that kind of blew us. But we talked about it, and from what I remember, he kind of tried to fix it, but I don't necessarily remember if that's true or not. This story happened like 2 years ago, so if I'm fuzzy on any details, I won't even like really bring it up because I don't want to like make nothing up, you know. But so anyway, moving along, fast forward probably another month or two, we had a friend who we were friends with, because she was on our dance team. We're gonna call her Coretta.
And
We're gonna call her Coretta. So Coretta was a freshman, and Coretta danced with us, and we got cool with her through our mutual friend who we met Checker through. So Checker and Coretta were also cool, and basically Coretta was living on campus or whatever, and she was a freshman. I'm telling y'all, she was a freshman in college, but she was like a kid. Like, she just reminded me of like a little kid. Like, I don't know what it was. It was just like a little sister type vibe. Like, she wasn't that much younger than us, but it felt like she was like that little sister type of, you know, deal. And so me and my best friend both kind of fell into that role of like big sister / like mentor, I kind of felt like too, because she would come to us for stuff, and you know, it just felt like that's the type of vibe that it was given. Which we all eventually wound up pledging together, which I have plenty of story times about how those relationships are going. She comes to us and she's like, you know, I'm not able to really do this on campus stuff, and it's expensive. This is not to bash her or say anything like negative about living on campus, because that's the reason why I moved off campus, because it was a lot of money. And if you want to stay in school, sometimes you got to make sacrifices, you know. So she was like, you know, I was wondering if I could stay in that other room that y'all got, and you know, I'll help you out. My mom said that she's willing to, well, the person who was, you know, taking care of her was willing to help us out with bills and stuff. So we like, okay, cool. Like, whoever that person is, you know, they can pay, they can give us however much towards the light bill, X, Y, and Z, and you can help keep the house clean. Because we know you not really working right now, but if she's saying that she's gonna help pay a bill, cool, whatever, like that's cool. We've been managing pretty well thus far. Shouldn't be too bad with 4 people now splitting bills, should it? Right? Wrong. Nope. Because it only got worse from this point. And it really sucks, because you know, you want to help people, you want to do nice things for people when you're blessed with certain things, because that apartment was a blessing to have that much space, and God obviously gave it to us to help someone else out, because why else would we have had a 4-bedroom with just us 2 and nothing in the room? So it was just kind of like, we got this for a reason, so why not help out a friend who needs somewhere to stay for a little while? And neither one of these were to be permanent, but it wound up being that way, because both of them were there basically up until our lease was up, which was not the plan at all. We let her stay. She moves her stuff in. Boom. Everything is cool. Everything's copacetic. Now we get to the point where we're pledging, right? So now I don't know what changed, but now it's getting back to the people being over the house all the time. Now the house is getting dirty right after me and my best friend vacuum, clean up, do dishes, all of this stuff. Everything's dirty all over again. Come home, front room looks like a complete tornado happened in the front room. There's clothes up there, there's shoes. Coretta is leaving her shoes and clothes thrown everywhere in the front. Checker is having his friends over. People that we're not really trying to be around at this point in time, because they were people who, anybody who knows anything about pledging knows that the people who are in the organization, they act a certain way towards people who are pursuing the organization. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go too deep into it. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. But we didn't want to be around them when we were done doing what we were doing. We didn't want to be around them. So it was annoying that they were there. It was just messy. It was always loud. And me and my best friend, like, we would stock up on like tissue and paper towels and things like that. Why am I coming in my house after we just bought a fresh pack of water, fresh pack of toilet paper, fresh pack of paper towel, and now everything is all gone? My roll of tissue that I just filled up this morning is now a brown paper roll. Empty, and nobody has replaced it. So we were like, okay, this is getting out of hand. Dishes are piling up in the sink, and I just cleaned up yesterday. Front room is dirty, and we just vacuumed, and we just cleaned up. Sprayed Febreze, everything. Now it smells like a gym locker in here. No, we're not doing this. So we text our chat after we got fed up, like we need to have a meeting or we need to talk, because there's a couple things we need to go over about how we about to run this house. Because at the end of the day, this is our house. Yes, we're letting y'all stay here, but this is our house, and it's just certain things that's not finna go like that. So basically we hit them up really polite, really nice, like, hey, can we just, you know, do this, do that, keep the house clean? Can we make sure we do this and that? Cool. Had the conversation. Everything was cool for about a week. Everything went right back to the fuckery. So we got fed up with it, and it was just a mess. Like, it was a mess. And looking back, me and my best friend both did say that we wish that we would have never let either one of them stay with us. But you know, like if we would have said no, it would have been like, oh, like that's bogus. Y'all have these rooms and y'all don't want to let people who y'all cool with stay or whatever. But people don't understand, like when you live with people, you really do see a whole different side of them, and it can ruin relationships. And it did ruin the relationships that we had with these two people because we don't communicate with them. And it sucks to say, but I mean that's the reality of what happened, and a lot of it had to do with the things that took place in this apartment. Now we're like, okay, Coretta, you have not paid any rent. You have not brought that money forth that you and your caregiver have said that y'all were going to give. What is going on? Well, I'm not working and da 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 da. Okay. Fast forward to when she got a job. Still never seen any money. And like I said, we kind of took on that role of like big sisters or whatever. So when we would order food or when we would smoke or whatever, she was always welcome to join in on the blunt or whatever, because we knew she didn't have the means to, you know, be splurging on it. Everybody had, like I said, this is not a bashing, because I know people are going to see this video and they're going to take it as me being a mean girl or me being this or that, but I'm just telling this story because it's something that I wanted to tell. And the people in this story, they were wrong. They were. And I don't care how you try to flip it or twist it, all the things they did were wrong. So she never showed any of that money. You know, and it was just crazy to me because I'm like, how can you even be comfortable sitting up in somebody's house rent free and you're not even washing dishes? We have to tell you to wash dishes or anything. Like, to me, as an adult, nobody should have to tell you to clean up. You know, that should be something that's already instilled in you. But I also had to learn that people are not raised how I was raised or how Ashanti was raised. People grow up from very different backgrounds. Some people are very spoiled. They're very pacified as a child, and they don't have to do a lot of stuff. But when you're coming in my house, now you're listening to my rules. And especially if you're not going to be paying rent. If it was me and I was staying at somebody else rent free, I would be breaking my neck to do everything I can, scrounging up any little change I can to even buy toothpaste. It's the effort and the action behind things change a whole situation, because it could have been way different if it would have been the effort there, but there was not even the effort to even contribute to these things. But we didn't just put nobody out on the street, because we were cool with these people to an extent where it was like, okay, I got you, we're gonna figure it out type ass. So yeah, like, never seen that money. But you always touched a plate of food when we ordered food. You always hit a blunt when we had weed. You always hit a bottle when we had liquor. So it's like, you know, you do stuff like that for people who you care about. You know, you look out for them or whatever, right? And you expect them to do the same, right? Wrong. This is why I had to stop expecting so much from people who you're close with, because people will still do the runaround to you. You know, they'll do it to you before they do it to a stranger, which is crazy. But yeah, so all of that stuff was still happening. House was still nasty, and me and my best friend, we was just tired of it. We was just really tired of it. We was just like, you know what, this is ridiculous. Like, we need to have another meeting. So we had another meeting again. Everything was like, okay, like, I'm gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Like, there's no reason we're in a house full of 4 adults and we have to delegate chores. If you see dishes in there, just wash them. If you see that you have your clothes in the front room, shoes strewn around, we have a whole closet, we have a whole rack to put shoes on. You can at least line them up neatly by the door if you don't want to take them in your room, if you don't want to walk through the house. But take your clothes and take your stuff and put it in your room. Now, let's go on this too. Like, now, tracking back to what I said before about how you keep your room and stuff like that. Like, that's cool, whatever, I don't care. But, like, are you ever going to clean it, though? Like, my room would be messy and I would have clothes everywhere, but I would get to a point where I was like, okay. Because I'm the type of person, like, I'm involved in a lot of stuff and I be busy, so I do get lazy sometimes, I'm not going to lie. But it's just like, at some point, I just get fed up with the mess, and I'm just like, okay, I need to clean up. Like, rooms would never be clean, bro. Like, just never would clean their rooms. Like, and probably like it was probably like a time or two where they did, but especially Coretta, her room was always filthy, always. So I was just like, okay, maybe this is just how she lives, like, because I just don't understand. Like, I don't know if it's just a lazy thing or if this is just what she thinks is okay. Like, and y'all see the light changing a little bit. It's because I have my blinds open because I'm just using a natural light because I don't want to really turn on any lights right now. Because I feel like when I do my makeup in the daytime with lights on, like in front of a window, it just is weird. So if y'all see me shining, it's because I'm sitting in front of my window. And I have a really big window in my room. It's like super big. But anyway, back to the story. Fast forward to where everything came to a head, right? So I think what happened was Checker was missing. Like, he was missing in action because we had fallen behind on some bills. Mind you, I said we weren't getting any money from Coretta. Checker was trying his best to put on for him and for Coretta, but it didn't work for long. So we had kind of fallen behind on the rent because at the time I was working. We're gonna talk about all of that in another story, but I was like struggling with money myself too because I had a lot of bills and I was like taking time off of work and stuff to, you know, I was pledging. And like I said, if you know, you know, if you don't, you don't. And there weren't a lot of compromises made on on others' behalf to consider my work schedule and what I had to do so I could make money. So I was falling behind a little bit. I eventually got what I needed to get, but I was falling behind a little bit too. But you know, we were like hoping at least that, you know, the money that we never seen from Coretta would show up and the money that was promised would be given. Was it ever? No, it was not. So literally we get a notice on our door from our leasing company telling us that we need to come up with X amount of money. So we get the money, well, most of it, and we give it to them, whatever. So at some point we got to the point where we would have Checker take the rent money because we had to pay them either in a money order or cash. So we would usually do cash just because it's easier than going to get a money order. So we literally would give him the cash. He would take it over there because a lot of times on the weekends we would go to work and stuff and we didn't have time to do any of that after we got out of class and stuff, so we would have him do it. First couple times he would bring us the receipt back. Everything was cool, right? So now we get to this point where we're like, okay, here's the rent money for this because we're supposed to be paying this bill down or whatever. Can you take the rent money to the leasing office? He says, yeah, cool, I got y'all, whatever. Like, cool. I'm going to pay for Coretta portion of the rent and mine, and I'm going to take the rent money, and I'm going to bring the receipt back. So we like, okay, cool, like, whatever. So everybody goes about their business, whatever. So we get, I don't know if we got another notice first or I think what happened was he had went missing, right? So we were trying to contact him, asking him like, hey, like, where's the rent receipt? We need to keep that for our records just in case, you know, especially with everything that's going on right now with the leasing company and us and our money. We trying to make sure that we pay them all their money, and we want to make sure that they not going to try to jip us and say we didn't pay them X, Y, and Z. So we need to keep up with all our receipts. So when we move out, everything is accounted for. And we could not find him. So we were in our group chat like, bro, like, we need this money. Like, where is he? Like, Coretta, where's your money? Like, we need this money. Like, and she was going off on us. We were getting into it with each other because we didn't know how we was going to come up with the rest of this money that we needed, because I think it was probably like $1,000 I think that he was given to go take to the leasing company. I don't exactly remember. But Coretta was like, well, y'all should have never let it get to this point. And we just like, huh? Like, you haven't paid a dime, so what are you talking about? We should never let it get this far. We've been kind enough to let you stay in our home, and you barely have done any work to earn your keep. So you should be the first one reaching out to your family members, trying to figure out where you're going to get money from to help us not get kicked out, because that means you're going to get kicked out. And where are you going to go? Because from the looks of it, none of your other so-called friends are letting you sleep on their couch. You have a whole room here, and you have an airbed that was provided to you. So, and it wasn't no cheap little rinky-dink airbed. It was a nice airbed, like a queen-size airbed. It was high. It was one of the nice ones. So I'm just like, I'm confused. Like, so she's like, oh, well, y'all should never let it get to this point. And we like, girl, just because you don't have any bills that you don't have to pay, or so you think, doesn't mean that we don't have bills to pay. We both have cars, which means we have car insurance. We both pay our own phone bills. What do you pay? Not to mention we have to keep the refrigerator stocked. Not to mention we have to put gas in our cars. Not to mention we have to get back and forth for work, which means we need gas in a car. Cars don't run on water. Cars don't run on love. Cars don't run on friendship. Cars don't run on IOUs. They run on gas, fuel. So, we have bills. And not to mention we have to keep constantly putting paper towels and toilet paper and toothpaste in here back to back, because you can't seem to contribute or get up $20 to even go to the dollar store and get something. You don't have courtesy enough to do that. So yes, don't ask me how my portion got to be this high. Don't inquire too much about something that is not your business per se, because this is our house still. Our name's on the lease. We're staying here, but you need to calm down to a certain extent before you get put out. Like, that's what was going through our head. So we were just like, who is she talking to? Like, and we were like, well, originally we waited for y'all to have, we've been had our portion. We were waiting on y'all to give y'all portion, so that way we can pay it all together. Because what do we look like paying half of the rent? And then, like, what do we look like paying half of the rent? Like, first of all, y'all not even supposed to be here. We can't sit up here and go tell the leasing company, like, yeah, we have to wait for our other two roommates to give us their portion of the rent. Because you know what? Remember I told y'all in the beginning that it was supposed to be a 2-bedroom lockout? We were not even supposed to have access to those rooms. So it was one of them things like where we needed to make sure we was doing everything right, because we didn't want them coming trying to put us out for having people staying there that wasn't supposed to be there, because we were still paying the rent for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom with an occupancy of 2 people. It wasn't supposed to be 4 people. So we was trying to move correctly in this situation. Like I said, he went missing and we couldn't find him. We was blowing his phone up. Phone kept going to voicemail. Next thing you know, we get a text message from his baby mama. And she was like, oh, he's taking care of his family right now. He has stuff going on. He can't be there to help y'all do this and that. And da-da-da-da. We just like, first of all, who are you talking to? We don't care about nothing that he got going on. We care about this money that we gave him that's now missing, that the leasing company is saying that they never got. So let me rewind back. He was telling us the whole time that the receipt, he was like, oh, yeah, I got the receipt. I'm going to give it to y'all when I come back from the city. We're like, okay, bet. Couple days go by, we like, hey, where that receipt at? Oh, it's in the city. Okay, we'll go pick it up if anything, if we really need to. Like, we got cars, like, it's no big. No, y'all don't have to do that. I got the receipt. It's in my bag in the city at my cousin's house. I had put it in my bag when I left the city or whatever, and it's at my cousin's house. We okay. Couple more days go by, we like, okay, bro, we can't keep sitting up here taking these excuses. Like, so my best friend was ready to have her baby daddy pull up, like, all type of stuff. Like, where is this money at? Because now we know that you haven't taken the money to the leasing company. Because if it was, we like send a picture, anything, so we can have a record of this, of what we're missing, bro. Like, where is the receipt? You can send a receipt and be done with it, and we can wait for the physical copy later, as long as we have some type of freaking proof that we paid this money. And he couldn't provide it. And so, like, then, you know, he went missing or whatever. So we was like, okay, now we know he stole the money. Now we don't even know if he coming back. Like, what we finna do? Because now we finna have to come up with all this money ourselves, because Coretta was acting like she wasn't finna help, or she wasn't responsible for nothing, when she was the one living there rent-free out of everybody. Like, you did the least amount of work out of everybody. You not even trying to help problem solve with the situation. So I wish I still had all the messages. They in my old phone, which is my 10, which is my screen is broke right now, but I wish I could really show y'all the messages, because I would have put them right on the screen. But she literally was acting like it wasn't her responsibility to figure it out. And words was exchanged, and we was going back and forth, like, and she had the audacity, y'all, to tell my best friend. My best friend was like, I'm pregnant, I have to try to make sure my money is ready. At the time, my best friend was pregnant with my niece, and she was like, you know, I'm pregnant right now, I have to make sure my money is right for my baby get here. And she literally told my best friend, nobody forced you to go get pregnant, nobody told you to lay on your back and get pregnant.
So you want to get chinned?
Cue the crime mob music, because we was like, is she serious? Like, just listen to, y'all heard all the stuff that I said that we did for this person, like from letting her stay with us to making sure she had rides to where she needed to go, picking her up from places, like just doing for her like family, like, because that's what we felt like we were. But we see after all of this stuff that went down that we was nowhere near family, like, and even more stuff that occurred. We seen that we was like, oh yeah, you can't put nothing past nobody. No matter how much you do for a person, they will still turn around and do you so bad. Like, and honey, I just couldn't believe my eyes and ears. I'm like, did she really say that? And my best friend was really hurt by that. And she was just like, wow, like, after all the stuff that we did to you, you got the nerve to try to put this on me now, like to try to flip it on me, like this is somehow my fault because I'm pregnant. No, like, you should be trying to help us figure out what we gotta do, because you stay here too. And you haven't done anything. So literally we all got into a big fight, and the next thing you know, he pops up like, oh, I had to use the money because I had to do this or that.
What?
But I'm gonna help y'all, whatever. I'm gonna give the money back. So me and my best friend, we wound up pulling the money together. We give them the money. That the leasing company, they like worked with us, which I liked. They wound up working with us. We end up getting the money up, or whatever. And we told them, like, you know, y'all gotta go. Like, we're not doing this. Y'all have to go because we have not got our money back. Y'all are not doing anything to help. Y'all gotta go. So they both got all their stuff and moved out. And we wound up, they both got their stuff and moved out, right? So mind you, it doesn't stop here. So Checker, he got everything out of his room. I just had to vacuum that room. My best friend was pregnant at the time, so I basically vacuumed that, made sure the house was clean. Literally, I'm telling y'all, over 75% of the stuff in that house I moved out and cleaned up before we left, with the help of my then ex. Well, then we're not even gonna speak on that. I did majority of the cleaning and everything when we were leaving, because my best friend, she was still working and she was pregnant, so she couldn't really do a lot of stuff. So I was just irritated because of everything just that was happening, and I was just irritated. So fast forward to when Coretta moved out. She of course tried to make us seem like the villain in the situation, of course, which is what people often do when they know that they're wrong and they don't want to admit it. She wound up having a friend of hers, because this is how I feel. If that friend was such a friend to you, they would have let you move in with them. But that's another story. Let me stop being shady. She literally she packed her stuff, she moved out, and when I tell y'all she left that room, she didn't even get all of her stuff that she had there. And you want to know how? Because some of the stuff that was there was stuff with her name on it. Like, she left clothes there, she left shoe boxes, she left gift bags from her birthday, because we put on a whole little surprise birthday thing for her birthday and made sure she had a good birthday, because she said that she never had a good birthday. So we went out of our way to make sure she had a good birthday. Just, it was very one-sided. The whole entire friendship was very one-sided, and it was very much so only beneficial to one side. You get what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't a 50-50 relationship. It was like a, oh, oh, y'all gonna do all this for me? I'm not gonna do anything in return for you. Like, it was one of those type of things. And so we made sure she had a good birthday, all of that stuff. She literally left gift bags, confetti, balloons, shoe boxes, ooh, just all type of stuff all over the room, all over the carpet that I had to clean up and I had to vacuum. So I was also pissed about that. And I'm just like, she's sitting up here telling my best friend, no, I got all my stuff. I got all my stuff. And I'm like, bro, isn't this award yours? Isn't these shoes yours? These shoe boxes are yours. These gift boxes are yours. She's like, oh, that stuff is TK's. That stuff is TK's. And I'm like, bro, all of my stuff that's in there is in the closet. And I had like one tote and a hamper that was sitting out, but that was it. The rest of the stuff that was in the room was hers. It was her belongings. I'm like, bro, I know what's mine and what's not. And you're not going to tell me what's not yours because I know what was in this room and I know what belongs to you. So she left the room a mess. And there was other contributing factors to how all of our relationship fell apart, which I'm probably going to tell a couple of those stories too on my channel, because y'all wouldn't believe some of the stuff that we have experienced, like literally. And it just goes to show you that you can't even, like, as much as you want to help people, sometimes you just have to say no, because that's what I learned. Because people will not give you the same respect that you give them or the same courtesy that you give them, like when you're doing so much for a person. And it's just like, we never even received an apology for any of that. Me and my best friend had to scrounge up the rest of the money, because at the end of the day, we're not finna sit up here and wait on y'all to give us the money, because this is our name. Our name is on this lease, not y'all. Y'all can walk away at any moment and be fine. Like, we have to get this ready. We have to get this in line because of us. So we were pissed, of course, because we had both got new jobs, and our first couple of checks went to getting that money down. I don't remember the exact amount it was, but it was easily like $2,000, almost $3,000 that was missing. And like $1,000 or so of that was the money that he had ran off with. And the whole $1,000 wasn't his. It was money split between us, but still, the fact still remains, it wasn't all of your money. It was definitely a crazy thing, because I'm just like, I cannot believe them. Like, they just sat up here and literally, first of all, Coretta left this room looking like this, and then tried to play it off like the stuff in the room was mine. Regardless if it was mine or not, when you leave someone's home, you can at least vacuum or sweep or get your garbage up and stuff and try to make it look clean and nice, because you know when you move out of an apartment, you have to clean up and make it look nice or whatever, so that they can come in and do what they got to do and you won't get charged for anything or whatever. Like, and it was just no common courtesy, no care, no concern, or literally no type of courtesy or respect. That's really the biggest thing, like respect. And I'm big on respect, especially when there's somebody that's doing something for you. Like, bro, you have to be humble, because you don't have anything. Like, and that's not to sound petty, but that's like for real. Like, if somebody's letting you stay with them, it should be your main priority to earn your keep. You should be putting on for some type of bills. And if it's for some reason you don't have a job, or you can't provide help monetarily, I think that's a word. If you can't provide monetary help, you should be cleaning. You should be keeping things nice and neat around here. And when you don't even do that, that's just crazy to me. Like, because as a woman, you should automatically be like, okay, let me keep things clean, you know, like in the bathroom. Let me make sure I'm wiping up my hair when I'm doing my hair. Let me make sure I'm cleaning out the tub when I'm getting out the shower. Let me make sure I'm replacing the tissue when I know I've used the last roll, or my company has used the last roll. So it was just a lot of stuff that was in the mix with it. But like I said, me and my best friend, we wound up hustling like we do, and we wound up scrounging the money together. But like I said, we've never seen that money. The girls, Coretta, the person, her guardian who was taking care of her, never upped that cash, not even at the end when they counted the most, like when we really needed it. So yeah, this was only like one of my roommate horror stories. I could have got way more into detail, but like I said, this happened a while ago, so I really don't remember a lot, and I'm not gonna make anything up, of course, but this is completely true, completely factual. But it just was like, we got to the point where we were like, wow, we hate to say it, but we probably should have never let them stay with us from the beginning, or we should have put them out or whatever when it was time to leave, because this is the type of things that people do when you give them a chance, or when you help them out, like people will screw you over. So I'm just saying this to say, don't let anybody stay with y'all. Don't just let any and everybody stay with y'all. And it wasn't even like it was any and everybody, to be honest, because it wasn't. Like I said, we were friends with these people, but it was just like they treated it like we were people off the street. And for that, I mean, I can't sit up here and say that I wish I can go back, because I do, because hindsight is 2020. So we always gonna go back and be like, well, I would have did this, you know. But like at the end of the day, I would never let things like that people do stop me from being a good person, because you can't do that. You know, with all the stuff that goes on in this world, everybody would be just evil and miserable. Like, so I try to use it as more of a lesson than something to, you know, just hold a grudge for. I've let it go, but I still want to know how you could just blatantly do something like that to somebody. Like, I would never. Like, I'm not telling you to worship the ground I walk on, but at least be respectful that I gave you somewhere to lay your head when you had nowhere to go. And that goes for both of them. So if they see this video, y'all are wrong, and y'all still owe us money. I don't care what way you try to flip it, twist it, bop it, whatever. Y'all still owe us money. And that's crazy, because it was just like, wow, y'all really not gonna give us this money. And we kind of just lost contact with them or whatever. And you know, after that, I had started working at Topgolf. I was making money. My best friend, she got her a phlebotomy job. So we were both making like literally $2,000 checks every 2 weeks. And where are these two people? You see how God works? You see what happens? Like, because we were struggling at that time, and we were looking for the people who we gave an opportunity and gave somewhere to lay their head that did us dirty. And we had to scrounge up all that money ourselves. But look at us. Look what happened to us. Things turned around, and we were getting paid double time and triple time what we were getting paid before, and we were making good money. That's what happens. People that do good stuff and they do things with a genuine heart, they get blessed. And the people who screw people over, they always get the short end of the stick. So this was not to bash anybody. I don't care if y'all see this video, but y'all still owe us money. So I'm gonna just let it be that. And we never really publicized this story or really said anything about it, but to me, I personally don't care to save anybody's reputation or anything. And most people know what happened anyway. But I'm just saying this to say, watch who y'all let live with y'all. You really get to know a person when you live with them. I'm telling you. People are nasty. People don't have any regard for other people's things. And people will walk over you, and they will not show respect when they were not raised right. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Please make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure y'all stay tuned for my next couple of posts and uploads. I hope y'all enjoyed this story time. There will be more, and that will be a lot more juicy. Trust me, because I did leave out a lot of stuff. But like I said, watch y'all live with. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope y'all enjoy y'all meals today. I hope y'all stay safe. And I love you guys so much.